everybody, this is Jennifer, and I'm going to make for you what I call a braided ring. It's not really braided, but it does have a braided effect. And I'm using these little 4mm Amanzonite stones, and my cousin wanted it to be in all earthy tones. And she wanted it to kind of go along with her sunstone bracelet. So we're going to use these 4 beads right here. And so what I'm using Parawire, and this is silver plated in the color Champagne. And I'm going to be using, this is a 24 gauge Parawire for the part that the beads go on, a 28, 4 pieces of the 28 and to braid with. And then I'm going to be using a piece of the 20 gauge for the ring size, and I'm going to go ahead and cut a piece of it. I'm straightening it with my Parawire wire straighteners, and I always straighten more than what I need because you can always cut it and have less, but I always go larger rather than smaller. And I use my Xuron cutters, and I can try to link all my tools below. This is only the second video that I've done, so I'm very new at this, or at least the second video in a long time. So what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start by gathering these 4 pieces of 28 gauge Parawire. And I'm going to get them all down to where they're about the same length. And they're, I don't know, you need about 6 inches or so. And then this is probably about 4 inches. You don't need a really super long piece for the ring, or you don't need as much as I have here for the wire wrapping part either. But what I'm going to do is start kind of in the center of this band, or where the beads are going to go. And I'm going to wrap this one side around until it comes up like that. And it comes up, and this 24 piece gauge wire, it's going to bend on you, but that won't make a difference in the end. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start adding my beads. If I can see the holes. And I'm going to start by taking, I kind of try to hold these wires so they're fairly flat, so they lay flat on the bead, and then I'm going to wrap it back around the wire like that, and those there. And if they don't lay quite flat, you can always redo that part. And then I'm going to hold the bead, and I'm going to do the same thing with this side. I'm going to try to hold those wires flat and have them come back around on this side. And I'm just having a little bit of trouble here. So let me straighten out this 24 gauge wire. Sometimes wire, if you pull it too tight, will want to bend. But also getting started is one of the most difficult parts. So there's that. It looks almost like a herringbone, but it's not herringbone. It's kind of almost a herringbone stylish type of a ring. But I've always just called it braided. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this stone. And there, I wrap that, and you want to kind of try to make sure that they stay nice and straight like that. And this 24 gauge wire is wanting to just bend on me for some reason. And I have no idea why. But there's that. And I'm going to add the third bead. And you want to start with whatever side you started with at the beginning is the side that you want to start with for the rest of the way. Otherwise, it won't flow right. And I also can make earrings like this, and I can make, I can also show you how to do a bracelet and a necklace. And there's that. So let me know below if you would like to see that. And then I'm going to put this fourth bead on. And now this one's going to be just a little bit different. I'm going to wrap this wire around one time, and then I'm just going to fold it over like that and wrap it one more time. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim these wires off as close as I can get, and I'm going to use the flat sides so they will be smooth or flat. Otherwise you get kind of a jagged cut. So now I'm going to take my needle nose pliers from Xuron, and I'm just going to kind of open and close these until it's all smooth and all pressed down. And I just kind of go in a circle like that. And you see how they're nice and smooth now, and they're all flat. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing with the other side. And I'm going to lay these down flat over it. And I'm going to go around the one time and then go around that second time to hold it. And then I'm going to trim these wires. Right there. And I'm going to take my Xuron needle nose pliers, and these wires are up, so I need to press those down. And this is the back side of it. I'm just trying to make sure everything is pressed down all the way around. Sorry, I was out of frame. And I still feel some wires poking up in the back. And I see one little tiny piece of wire that I want to trim off that's hanging up. There, that feels smooth now. And now what I want to do is kind of shape this. And I'm going to go, I'm making a size 7 ring. And I know it's hard to see the numbers on here. You have to look at it in the right light, but this is a, I think it's stainless steel. It's very heavy ring mandrel. But I did get it off Amazon. And I want to go smaller than what I think I need. I'm going to go more for a 5.5 and try to do a band about that same length. So what I'm going to do to start the band is I'm going to take my round nose pliers and I'm going to bend all the way around till everything is touching like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and then just bend back just a little bit, and that straightens everything up. And if it's opened at all, you can just close it up like that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure on here for about a 5.5, but leaving myself room for the beads. And you can always make a ring bigger than smaller. It's always a lot easier because you can always hammer it, and that will also give the ring strength. And I'm using this 20 gauge wire for this band. And so I need to cut it. It looks like right over here. And out of everything that I make, I think rings are the hardest thing to make. I don't know why, it just seems to be the hardest thing to make for me. So I'm going to take these and I'm going to bend this one. I'm going to roll it the opposite way that I did the other side. And I'm going to keep going around until that side meets. And then I'm going to bend it back. And then I'm going to close it with my needle nose pliers. And then what I'm going to do before I attach both is I'm going to measure on here and see about where everything sits. And I think that's going to be okay. We will find out in a minute. Because this band is very small, so I'm not sure if it's going to work or not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this side of this in here. And then I'm going to take my Xuron bent nose pliers. And I'm going to take this and twist it around 3 times. So there's 1. 2. And 3. Whoa, and I dropped it. So I've done 2, and now I need 1 more wrap. And I'm going to bring it around 3, and I'm going to pinch these together. There. And pull this around, and I'm going to trim that little wire off. And I'm going to, where's that wire? Okay, there it is. And I'm going to kind of twist this around just to make sure it's nice and tight. And also press down. And I want to press it down so that it's smooth. And I'm trying to get just on that one little tiny wire. And it bent down, so I'm going to squish it up and press it down again. You just always want to make sure that your wires are smooth and they're not going to catch on somebody's skin or their clothing, and that feels smooth. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to feed this through the other side. And I'm just going to have it go all the way through like that. And then I'm going to wrap this the same way I did the other. I'm going to wrap 3 times. So there's 1 wrap. 2 wraps. And 3 wraps. And then I want to make sure these are close together. Let's see. That doesn't look like 3 wraps, so I'm going to go around one more time just to be safe. That looks like 3 wraps that time. And now I'm going to cut this real close and trim that wire. And now I'm going to kind of twist that wire around as I flatten it down. And that wire is flat. So now I'm going to see where this sits on my ring mandrel. And right now, let's see, this is sitting at about a 6.5. So I'm going to hammer and I will be right back. And the hammer that I use is this one. It's kind of plastic on one side and rubber on the other, and I usually use the rubber side, and it just, this work hardens the ring band, and it just makes it expand, makes the wire kind of expand, but it hardens it. So I will be back in just a minute. Okay, and I just finished hammering the ring, and it's now directly on a size 7, and so now you can see how it's shaped, and that will harden the ring band, so it will really hold its shape better now. But now you can only do that if it's you can't go like from a 3 to a 7 or something. You can only go up about a size. But there's the ring. And I have psoriatic arthritis, so my hands are always swollen, but that's what the ring looks like on. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please subscribe and hit the bell notifications for future videos. And I'm going to try to do at least 1 upload a week as best I can. And I hope you all subscribe and have a wonderful day. Bye.